Hello, good evening. It is Sunday night. I thought we would read something in the Bible. I don't know what yet. We'll see what we end up reading. I watched all 3 churches today. I'm not going to recap what they all talked about, but I thought they all did a good job, every single one of them. And then what I noticed, though, is 2 of the pastors of 2 of the 3 churches talked about their kids and screen time. And it was just subtle. Like, it wasn't the point of the message or anything, but they both were just using examples from their life. And I just found that interesting how 2 of the 3 pastors talked about their kids being on the screens today. But what made me think, like, wish I could tell, because now I'm old. You know, my kids are older, right, than theirs. And I've been through that routine, and now my oldest is an adult, and my youngest doesn't have that long to go till she's an adult. And I've seen the effects of, like, what it's like when you're starting them on the screens and you think you're doing a good job monitoring the screen time. And now, like, with my son, we have a full-blown internet addict. Like, and it's just... if I could do over, if I could tell these pastors, like, be so careful, be so careful, because if I could do my parenting over, we would definitely be a screen-free house. So I get it's a different generation, and these kids grow up on the screens like super young. But it doesn't take long to go from age 8 to age 18. And that stuff is just so addictive and so damaging. And there's so many, like, it just changes your brain. It really does rewire your brain. And changes who you think your friends are. You think your friends are, like, online strangers, and changes how you interact and what you want to do for fun, and whether your brain can calm down and have quiet time with God or not. Changes what you crave in a way. It's so subtle, and it starts out slow, and it's so horrific. So we're being really careful with my daughter now, but anybody who's a young parent or a parent of young children these days, like, there's nothing wrong with being the parent who says your kids can't have screens. Like, you just don't do screens. Or maybe all they get is TV, and maybe that's like an hour a day or something. And no handheld device, no laptop, no anything, no phone, nothing. You know, if you're gonna get a phone, get like the Bark phone, where it takes all the dangerous stuff away. I mean, we have had situations with I don't even want to get into it. There's so much danger in that world, and even in those games. Roblox is horrific. And the addiction, even if it's just Minecraft. I mean, it's one thing to see your kid doing Minecraft at age 8. It's like, oh, this is harmless. It's another thing when they can't stop playing it at age 20. And they're on it for, 16 hours a day at age 20. So what you start, it's kind of like they say, what's that thing with the Bible? Like, you teach your kids, train your children up in the way that they should go, and when they're old, they will not depart from it. That applies to screen time. If you allow that, like, it's okay when they're young because you think it's okay, because it seems like it would be harmless and you're on your phone, they it's dangerous. It's really, really dangerous. I think we as a society, I worry about society. Looking at these kids, you go to the store, you try to buy something at the pharmacy, and the kids are all on their phone. They're like working, but they're on their phone. It's the weirdest thing ever. It is so, I worry, like, who are going to be our doctors, right? When I'm old, when I'm super old, like, is this the generation that's going to be our doctors and our lawyers? Like, are we going to have to get all of our specialists in America from other countries because nobody in America can function because they're all screen addicted? Like, I literally worry. But it just really stood out to me today. But we're off topic, so let's read the Bible. I don't know what to read in here. Let's read this devotional part of the Bible. See what this is. Zechariah. It says read Zechariah 3:1 through 10. There's nothing like retail therapy, although not for everyone. A day spent pursuing the latest fashions can do wonders for a litany of woes, at least temporarily. However much we like shopping for the new, in many ways we enjoy the old. The comfort of a ratty sweatshirt, the security of tradition, the familiarity of a well-traveled path. Our sinful nature looks a lot like the comfort of a worn old sweatshirt. It's familiar, well-fitted, and after a while we don't notice the rips and smudges. God, however, knows our desperate need for new clothes, not the materialistic, worldly kind, rather the heavenly, eternal kind hemmed in heaven. Our past mistakes and wrongs are like Joshua's dirty garments. They're stinky, stained, and in need of a makeover. Zechariah's vision shows that instead of merely washing Joshua's clothing, God gives him an entire new outfit. That's retail therapy at its best. I don't love these devotionals today, I gotta be honest. Zechariah 3 reveals God's desire to remove Joshua's garments of sin and shame and to replace them permanently. The new robes are perfectly pure, symbolizing cleansing and forgiveness. How strange it would be if Joshua refused the gift, only to cling to his filthy clothes. In this sense, rejecting God's forgiveness makes as much sense as a woman turning down a free shopping spree. And yet it happens every day. Rather than accepting God's gift of forgiveness, many individuals choose the familiarity of guilt and the comfort of self-condemnation. God offers forgiveness to us free of charge. It's free because Jesus already paid the bill on the cross. Jesus' resurrection gives incalculable value to the robes of forgiveness. If he had not defeated death, the new clothes he offers would only be temporary. Because he lives, they will never fade or wear out. Don't settle for grungy old rags. Hand your wardrobe over so God can give you a whole new look. It was baptism day at my big church today. So that's what that reminds me of. But then also, it reminded me of, which part was it? No, I've forgotten already. Not accepting the gift, not napkin theology, not baptism. What was it? Let's just sit here for a moment till I remember. I can't remember. It was so good. That was it. Jesus' resurrection. Okay, sorry. I read something the other day about it wasn't whether or not you believe that Jesus existed or whether or not you believe Jesus was crucified or all of that, whether or not you believe in Jesus. It was more about whether or not you believe Jesus was resurrected. Because if Jesus wasn't resurrected, then there is no Christianity, right? And if you believe that Jesus was resurrected, then Jesus was who he says he was, or is who he says he was, and whatever, and then you have to believe everything he says. It was one of these devotionals. We should read it one of these days. I thought it was a super good point. I'm getting a text that's so interesting from this group. There's this group at my church that I had opted out of on the Facebook group, and then now I'm getting a text about it. But anyway, that's interesting. And then the other thing this reminded me of was I was watching Avatar with my daughter the other day, and it was making me think about all the ways that you end up changing when you become Christian. So back in the day, and I still like Avatar. I mean, it's overall I like it, but back in the day it was when I would consider myself, liberal, spiritual, not in any way Christian. Movies like Avatar that have that spiritual element to them would be probably some of my favorites, and now when I watched it with my daughter, I'm aware of how much swearing is in there, or how if they say just words that you shouldn't really be saying, and there's a lot of I don't want to say belittling Christianity, but there's a lot you can tell this was not written by Christian people. I guess it was Hollywood, but and so there's just stuff that just jumps out at me as so different than what I'm currently used to. I'm a little sheltered in my little Christian world now, but it's funny that a movie that used to be so I still love it. It's very visually appealing, and I do like the certain themes of it, but at the same time there's just pieces of it that just stand out as so off and wrong and worldly and not holy that I didn't catch before, that. And that happened when I first I think this is why I don't have a TV anymore. When I first became a Christian too, I would because I used to swear so much. I swore constantly. I don't even know why I swore so much. I just swore nonstop, constantly. And I still swear a little bit, but compared to before, it's a huge change. And I remember once I was at somebody's house, and there was a comedy. There was these, was it Frankie and something? I don't remember what the show was, but it was a comedy with these women in there, and there was just so much swearing, and I was watching this my mind was blown just how much swearing there was, and I'm I can't even watch this at this point. I cannot tolerate it, and I've never reacted like that to swearing. I can swear like a sailor, right? So it's weird to be or now I'm sensitive to the swearing, right? Because I'm I know how to swear, but anyway, so it's just the changes that happen as you become a Christian are interesting to go through, you know? It is like becoming more sensitive, you know? Or like I'll listen to music. Like my favorite song used to be, what was my favorite song? Katy Perry had this song called Dark Horse. I love this song. I feel like this song was like my life, right? I was like, I love this song, Dark Horse. My daughter even knew, like, that's mom's favorite song, right? And then I turned into a Christian, and I look back at that song, and I'm like, I cannot even believe that that was like my little like anthem song about myself, and that I let my daughter be like, that's mom's favorite song. Like, that's so, when you look at it now, I'm like, that was really interesting. You know, and now I'll listen to just like Christian music nonstop. I just listen to like worship music and Christian music. And my daughter's always like, she's surprised sometimes to like if I don't know, like I have no desire to listen to like my old music anymore. I just don't even, wow, I just have no desire to. So anyway, this is a really rambly video and it's super long now. So that is all we have for tonight. Hope you're having an awesome day. Maybe tomorrow we'll go back to reading Luke. Have a good day.